from the bliss down to the turned out, from the pampered to the abused. This door is open to you. Come on, come on in, yeah, come on in. The God in us recognizes the God in you, and whether you're black or white, gay or straight, Christian, Buddhist or Jew, this door is open to you.
So I know that the power and presence of God fills this very place. For I know it is in us, as us, expressing through us and all around us. Because it's all God and it's all good. And it's all part of our life. And life is so good. I know that we are divinely guided. I know we were brought here to celebrate. For this is a Sunday celebration with beautiful music, the perfect prayers and the perfect talk, and the enjoyment of each other. So I know that good is taking place today, and we take that with us wherever we go, because we are one with God. And knowing it is good, I am so very grateful. So I release these words to the love and law of God, and I let it be. And so it is.
Thank you, Michael, and thank you, Joanna and Mike. And good morning, everyone. It's a joy to see you. I'm happy to be here. I'm Reverend Sharon Hudson, your interim minister, while we look for a new minister, which I'm sure we'll find the perfect one. We are a welcoming, inclusive, spiritual community. We know there's a power for good in the universe. We're always using it. We're always a unique aspect and divine expression of that. And our purpose is to awaken humanity to that divine knowing, to that divine magnificence that is our nature. So thanks for being here as we celebrate that. If you're here for the first time, we welcome you, and we would love to have you sign up for our email list. Well, email. Once a week, we send an email with all the things that are happening here. We'd like you to get that so you can come join us for, and we have a lot going on. Just wait till you hear the announcements. Oh, my goodness. I can't believe it. And now we're going to have an opening song, which we all get to sing. I invite you to stand. We are singing, let's see, You Are the Light.
All right. Of love, you are the light, I am the light, we are the light of love, peace. You are the light of peace.
fun going on here because only one of our mics works if they're both on at the same time. Neither one of them works, I think. So we're going to play mic switching. So right now is a time for gratitude, that moment when we really take time to awaken to and become aware of and embrace what we're grateful for. So I invite you to just be still for a moment. Take a breath if you wish. Close your eyes if you wish. And just pause here. Invite some stillness into your mind and body. It's so good to relax. And take a moment to be grateful for yourself. Think about how amazing you are. I am. How much a wonder you are. Be grateful for anything that comes to your mind. Just take a moment to see what you're grateful for. Your body, your mind, your spirit, your ideas, your gifts, whatever it is. Melt into that deep, deep appreciation. Breathe it into your heart. Let it grow and expand. Feeling love for self. Rest in the warmth and love of it. And when you're ready, gently begin to come back to this moment, this time, and open your eyes. Refreshed, renewed, and grateful. It's a simple practice that can change your life, changes mine all the time. And now Reverend Michael has a reading for us.
Oh, it's my pleasure. This is a special book. It's called This Thing Called You by Dr. Ernest Holmes. And it's something where we learn about ourselves. And I'm going to read to you the first two. Thank you very much. Now you can hear me. Okay, This Thing Called You by Dr. Ernest Holmes. Okay, special book. And you read all about yourself. So this is about you. Chapter 1, the first two paragraphs. You, like all others, are seeking the joy of living. You wish to be needed, to be loved, to be included in the great drama of life. The urge is in every individual. It is in everything. The rose exists to express beauty. Root and branch conspire with nature to give birth to blossom. An artist will starve in his garret that he may chisel an angelic form from a slab of marble, compelling the unyielding substance to accept his breath of creation. Not only human beings, but everything in nature is endowed with this creative urge. When moisture is precipitated, the desert receives it with gladness and breaks forth into a song of creation, making the most of its brief season. It blossoms in joy, storing within its bloom the seed of a future blossoming. It is impossible to escape the creative urge. Everything must find fulfillment or perish. And so it is.
to build the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honeybees and snow white turtle doves. And I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. And I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. I'd like to see the world for once all standing hand in hand, and hear the echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. Ooh, da, 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 da. I'd like to build the world a home and furnish it with love. Grow apple trees and honeybees and snow white turtle doves. And I'd like to teach the world to sing in perfect harmony. And I'd like to hold it in my arms and keep it company. And I'd like to see the world for once all standing hand in hand, and hear the echo through the hills for peace throughout the land. Ooh, da, 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 da. Hey, yeah, yeah.
There's a vision for you. Let's all teach the world to sing, okay? Our topic today is vision. Casting the vision, creating the vision. Where did my vision go? How can I get it back? Or maybe I need a new one. That's what we're talking about today. Are you ready for that? So, you know, life is interesting, and sometimes we just get so caught up in what's happening that we don't realize that things could be better. Does that ever happen to you? I don't know. It happens to me once in a while. But sometimes something happens, a loss, a change, a shift where it's really, oh my gosh, I really need something to change now. So sometimes it's like that, but sometimes it just creeps right up on you. You know, you don't realize that you're having anxiety a lot, or you're feeling a little blue, or there are things that are frustrating to you. And this is the time, guess what, to stop. And so our lives are busy for many of us. Our lives are just so busy. We're doing the day-to-day stuff, and we put that on the back burner, don't we? We just don't always notice that things could be better until they drag us down a bit. So when you become aware, and I think the other thing that came to me when I was driving up here is the concept of perturbation. I want to ask you if you know what that means, because I didn't until I took a class. I want you to raise your hand if you know, but you don't. But perturbation is the idea that there's change ongoing. Like in the ocean, there's a wave, right, that comes. And so before the wave hits you, it's about creating your own wave. It's about creating the shift and the change without waiting for the universal 2x4. And so the invitation is just to stop right now and notice if there's anything that could be better. And to create a vision that calls you and opens you to the greater possibility for yourselves. It's so easy for us to shut down the things that we would really like to be or do, and the things that we even think are possible for us. Because everything that you can dream and believe is available to you. I think there's that quote, you've all heard it. Whatever you can conceive and believe, you can experience, you can have it. Let's do that. Let's have that. So the invitation is to pause. Emerson has this quote. I'm going to ask our magic to show this. Place yourself in the middle of the stream of power and wisdom which flows into you as life. Place yourself in the full center of that flood. Then you are, without effort, impelled to truth, to right, and a perfect contentment. So we're invited to just breathe and let go and turn within and see, get to know ourselves. There's stuff that's hanging out in us that's affecting our life today. I probably still have some of it. I'm trying to become aware so I can release it. It's like when you go get quiet and listen to what's within and get still, lots of things happen. But one of them is that you see more clearly the things that are hindering you. The pain of our childhood is a block to joy. Sometimes we become aware that there's still stuff that we're frustrated, angry, that sort of thing. And by being quiet and noticing, we begin the healing process. We're invited to let it go. We're invited to say, how else could I look at this? I once was in a Course in Miracles group, and they were doing an interesting process where someone talked about a situation, a very unhappy situation. And there were like 6 questions in this process, but the one that sticks with me here 20 years later was so profound. How are you withholding love from yourself or the other? It knocked my socks off. Because when we get caught up in those things, so how can we look at things differently through new eyes? I like looking through the eyes of love. Looking through the eyes of love, because honestly, we're all doing the best we can. If we knew better, we would do better, right? And hurt people hurt people. You know all those little phrases out there? There's truth in them. So this is the opportunity to look inside and get back in touch with who you really are, which is amazing, divine. You have gifts, and it's about focusing on that, because what happens in our deeper consciousness, we have all of our life experiences, all the good stuff, and there's a lot of good stuff, and some of the, I want to say crap. And so the way that we begin to clear it, and that consciousness is what's creating my reality in the world. We absolutely have seen that. That's why we call it religious science in some ways. The science aspect of it is that we will be the great experimenters in our life. We will try things and see if they work. And I've tried this since I was 12 years old, and it really works. When I really know something, believe something, embody something, feel something, it cannot help but come to life. Sometimes I have big dreams, but I don't really think they're possible. So what do you think? They're impossible, But we can dream big, and I'll talk more about that in a little bit. So the idea is that the more we get ourselves in touch with our own wonder, remember this year it's about living everyday wonder. Today I want you to live the wonder about who you are. I want you to realize how amazing you are. And the more that we get in touch with that and spend time in thinking about that, and in the deeper state really feeling that, the more that consciousness that's creating your outer world gets cleared up. And amazing things happen. People you think you had tension with, suddenly you see each other, you understand each other, you care for each other. Or they leave. I'll tell you what, sometimes they leave and that's okay. But it's about healing yourself and healing the world. The more we can see our own divinity, the more radiant and more of a healing presence we will be in the world. I have another quote here from Carl Gustav Jung. However you say his name. Your vision will become clear only when you look into your heart. He who looks outside dreams. He who looks inside awakens. So the invitation is to look inside and discover who you really are. Focus on those aspects of self that you want to amplify, that you want to become more, that place from which you want to live your life and teach the world to sing, right? That's a vision. And in the process, accept your imperfections. I talk about this all the time, but get over it. Quit judging yourself, please. I'm just talking to myself, just in case you wondered. So discover who you really are and that you're more than you think. Also, as we go through the process of really deepening within and listening and becoming aware of who we are, what happens is we begin to trust our own intuitive nature, our own insights. You notice you get a little idea that you should take an umbrella, but you don't, and then it rains. I can't tell you how many times I've had that experience of not paying attention to a thought I had. It just happened recently. I can't remember what it was, but I'm learning, though, that the minute I think, maybe I should, I stop and go, wait, I probably should. Let's do that, Even though the sky's clear. I'm telling you. So to paraphrase, Emerson a little bit. Emerson talks about that we each have a call and a talent. And that when we do what is ours to do, that the whole world appreciates it. We are needed. We are needed. Whatever it is, could be the way we are with other people. It could be the gift we have to give in the world. There's something that is your natural gift. And when we live our gift, amazing things happen. He said you unfold yourself by using your gift. You unfold yourself. I love that. And you become aware of your own power. What we have, so now we've released all that. We know how wonderful we are. Now what's next? How do we get to that vision, that place of really seeing who we are? Ernest Holmes says, very frequently I sit all alone for 2 hours. I want y'all to practice that this week. Do you have time? You have time? I saw a couple hands raised. That's a good thing. For 2 hours and listen to the silence, and it speaks. And look out into the darkness, and it turns to light. It is there, and there is no question about it. God is warmth. Spirit is colorful. The universe is filled with light. A voice speaks from everything, from running brooks, stones, trees, animals, the moon and stars, deserts and stillness. You can listen to the stillness until it speaks to you. This is such a gift to our soul, to be still. And in the stillness, we begin to see greater possibilities, don't we? It's speaking to us about what is ours and what is yet to be and what is possible. We have two things that we talk about in Science of Mind, visioning and visualization, and they're both very powerful. But visioning is where we just listen. It's a receptive mode of, in fact, almost asking, okay, wisdom of the universe, what is the highest and best for this area of my life? And we get still and we just notice what comes up. I mean, it might be bubbles. It might be a giraffe. It could be anything. But those things to each of us are symbolic. Something does arise when you get quiet. The process of visioning asks several questions, what's the highest vision? And what do I need to release to experience this vision? Because sometimes and there's an awareness of what that is, right? What do I need to embrace to live this vision? What is it I want to do and be? And is there anything else? Is the last question. Is there anything else I need to know? And if you just take time in the quiet, stuff happens. We often have visioning groups and teach visioning in our centers, and maybe we'll start a visioning group here. Who knows? We're just in this process of exploring what all is possible. I have to tell you, I met with the practitioners Friday, not yesterday. And wow, what a powerful group we have. We talked about all kinds of possibilities for classes and workshops, and new things are going to be happening all over the place, so stay tuned. So I'm going to just share with you my vision. There's a difference between your vision and your mission, and then there's goals and steps to get there, right? So a vision is so big, it can't be accomplished in your lifetime. It would be like world peace. My vision is world peace. Our vision for Centers for Spiritual Living is to create a world that works for everyone, where every need is met, where there's a connection with earth, with spirit, with each other. My vision, personally, here's my vision, I wrote it down, is that all people everywhere will know their own divinity, that their hearts will be open, that they will know their connection and oneness with God and each other. This is the key to peace, prosperity, and wholeness on the planet. That's my vision. That's my job in the world, sort of. But my vision is so big that I want that to happen to everybody. That's the vision, so big. Don't know if I can do it all myself. So my mission, your mission is like your life's purpose. It's an ideal through which you look at everything you do. And you ask yourself, is this moving me toward that? And my mission I found in a retreat I went to many years ago. And it's 3 words. I probably shared it before with you, maybe 5 years ago, I don't know. But my mission is to know oneness. To know oneness. It's profound. It's knowing when I look into the eyes of someone else that we are connected, that we are one in the one. It's a big deal. And then, of course, we have goals, something specific I'm working toward. I don't know what I'm working toward now, but you all know what you're working toward, right? You want more money, a great relationship, you want to play more, you want to have balance. Oh, I do have goals. Wait. Balance in my life. I think that would be the one I'm picking today. And then action steps. What are you going to do to get there? Take time off with my husband. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, y'all thinking about what your goals and action steps are and your vision? I'm sure you are. The invitation really is this week to take that time within and see what you want in your life. Let it be something big. And it can be something small. But in focus, here's the power in our word, is to focus on how we feel when we have it. Ernest Holmes teaches that the power in your word, in your prayer, in your spiritual mind treatments, which is just treating your mind spiritually to know a higher truth, the power is the feeling you have around it. So it isn't about the red Ferrari. It's about the relationship I'm going to have when I attract the perfect person in my life, right? It isn't about the thing itself. It's about my experience of it. And that's the focus for my prayer, is that experience of it. So once you're clear about what you're... Oh, wait, I have a third quote. We have to read this before we move on. If we only knew the truth of our own greatness, and I don't know who said this, if we only knew the truth of our own greatness, the power we have with our own mind and being, we would never be afraid. We would step out in life and achieve our greatest desires. We would heal our past and create a new future, paving the way for many others. When we do this, we lift up those in our lives. So don't allow anything to limit your vision. Once you've got it, have it. So this woman was born the 20th of 22 children. I'm going to tell you about her. She was born prematurely, and her survival was doubtful. When she was 4 years old, she had pneumonia and scarlet fever, and it left her with a paralyzed left leg. She wore a brace until she was 9. By 13, she had developed a rhythmic walk that the doctor said was a miracle. Then she decided to become a runner. The first few years, she came in last in every race. People told her to quit. Wilma Randolph won 3 Olympic gold medals. It's so easy to just say, oh, well, can't do that one. Grab your vision, hang on to it, and keep moving in those steps toward it. You know, Dr. Seuss, I think his first book was And to Think I Saw It on Mulberry Street. It was rejected by 27 publishers. So if you think you've got a gift to give the world, keep trying a new publisher, right? You got that book out there you want to publish? Here's one that I love. Chicken Soup for the Soul was rejected by 33 publishers. It has now sold 500 million copies around the world in 100 countries, and it's been translated. That series of books has been translated into 43 languages. You got to keep on keeping on, you know? Thomas Edison, you probably all know this, he had 5,000 failures trying to find a material that would become incandescent without burning out. And he had 5,000 more before he discovered carbonized cotton thread. I love these stories. So don't accept any limitations. And, you know, in spite of doubts, carry on. Carry on. Another thing is, say yes. Have you ever had opportunities that you said no to? Yep. I was a fairly new minister 20-some years ago, and I got a call from a radio station in New York City, and they wanted to broadcast my talks on the radio there. All I had to do was send them the cassette tape. I said, yeah, but they aren't perfect. They said, we'll edit them, don't worry. I didn't do that. I could have been on the radio in New York 20-some years ago. But there was something in me that was like, oh, they're not good enough. I mean, can you believe? And I listened to one of my old talks. I'm trying to digitize them now. I have more than 500 cassette tapes because I spoke for 10 years. You know, every week we recorded them on these old cassette tapes. Well, they're good. Dang, I should have sent that. You know, you should love everything you create, because someone else probably loves it too. So, and here's an interesting thing that happened to me. the kind of person that works behind the scenes. For Centers for Spiritual Living, I've served in lots of ways, but my first way of serving was as a ecclesiastical representative. That's a mouthful, isn't it? It meant that I supported 50 churches in Southern California by connecting them with them regularly. When they lost a minister, I'd go in and help them. And that was like 15 years ago I was doing this. So I did that. I served on committees. When we converted to a new organization, we had 2 religious science organizations that came together to create Centers for Spiritual Living. It was a fabulous thing. I was on committees, transition teams. I served as a chair of the Minister Council for 3 years. I was elected to that position. And so, I'm just happily working behind the scenes. Now I was then called a regional support coordinator, so I also support, that's the same thing that the ecclesiastical representative was in the prior organization. But so I once again supported, and I would go out to places around the country to do some conflict transformation work if there were challenges in our center. So I was just in the background, didn't want to be in the spotlight. Here's a funny thing. I took a class in feng shui, and there's this thing called, what's it called? Something in reputation. It's like who you are in the world, how the world sees you. And it turns out that red is the color. You should have that, like when you walk in the door, you should have red on that wall. And water and water and mirrors wash that out. So I had, of course, a mirror on that wall in my house. So I went and put a little, all you have to do is put a little red thing on the back of it. But you know, it doesn't have anything to do with that. It's your consciousness. My idea that now I could have recognition and fame and recognition, I think is what it is. I don't think fame's the right word, though. Anyway, so I actually put the red on the back of the mirror because I realized, what the heck? People should see I'm doing good work. And funny thing is, somebody called me. We have 2 top positions in our organization right now. They're equal in stature. One is a spiritual leader, and the other one is a field leader. The spiritual leader is our voice to the world. And at the time, Ken Gordon was our spiritual leader, and John Waterhouse was our field leader. He was originally called president. They changed his name because that's the inward face, looking to our organization itself, responsible for the health and well-being of our communities and ministers around the world, and there are a lot of them. That position is responsible for ethics, for education, for licensing and credentialing, just about anything that affects our ministries. They're responsible for ecclesiastical oversight and leadership. That was the position that John Waterhouse had. So his 2 terms are up, coming up for election. Somebody calls me. He's a practitioner in Asheville, North Carolina, believe it or not, on one of the committees I served on. And he called me and said, I think you should run for field leader. Okay, this was an opportunity to say, no, I'm not too good. But here's what happens when you've been doing this work is, when he said that to me, my first thought was, oh my gosh. Somebody else had said to me, I'd like to nominate you for the leadership council, But what I got was a call. I thought to myself, I could do this, and I would be good at it. And so I ran for that to be elected. That was 4 years and a few months ago. And there were 4 people running that I knew of at that time. 2 of them dropped out. So now I'm running against one of the most well-known men, been in the organization for years and been a leader that's been really seen. I will not name him. Some of you may know him. So the 2 of us are running for that. We get up and give our 8-minute talks, and then there's an election. And I was elected. And I served there for 3 years. It was cool. It was really amazing. But if I hadn't said yes, like I did to New York, where would I be now, right? It was a miracle. It was a fabulous opportunity to serve this organization. I got to travel around the world. It was a wonderful thing. And I think I did a lot of good work. So the organization continues to evolve, and it's still doing that. But the invitation is for us to notice the opportunities that come. Because when you begin to have a vision, and I had a vision, doors will open that are unexpected, right? And it's your invitation to say yes. I still feel bad about New York City. Can you believe 20 years later or more? Probably more. I carry this little burden. I'm going to get rid of it now, okay? Just get rid of that. We have more power than we know. So the invitation is to take some time, go within, see what's present. If something needs to be released, just let it go and then begin to focus on the wonder. Focus on the joy. Focus on what your heart really wants. And you know when you focus on what your heart really wants, you know something happens. And you can tell it's true and it's real for you. You know what it is? You can't help but smile. It like lights you up. So you go look in the mirror and see if I've got it, or if it's just something I should do. Because when you think your vision is something you should do, it's not going to light you up as much as what your heart wants. Maybe it's to buy a horse. I mean, I don't know. That's what Kathy Ann Lewis wanted to buy a horse. And she had told herself all the reasons she couldn't have a horse. Of course, now she has a horse and she even rides it in contests or something. It's wild what we can do. There's something that will bring you great joy. And the invitation is to go within and discover what that is. Are you ready to do that? Let's do that. So would you join me and just take a moment to turn within? Breathing in light, the presence of the divine. I know there's one power, all-knowing. This presence is deep, grounded peace. And I sense into that peace right now. This presence is love, divine love, connecting, flowing into my heart and forth from me to all. And I feel that connection. This presence is infinite wisdom, always guiding. It is joy. It is freedom. It is balance. It is good health and well-being. The nature of the divine is all of these things that are good. I know this is the core of my being. This is true for all. We are all unique expressions of this one. And so right now I speak a word for us, each one of us. And with the breath, I just know that whatever needs to be healed, whether it's in mind, in body, or in spirit, sense of soul, it is moving into a greater wholeness and well-being. Every cell knows its natural state of being and is energized to return to that. Anything unlike that just melts away from the body. And my spirit is open to the presence of the divine and just lights up. I speak a word for relationships and love, knowing that for each here today, relationships deepen with understanding, connection, safety and security, trust, a shared joy in life, and deep love. Whatever needs to be healed in relationships is healed. A deeper understanding prevails. Care and compassion is peace. And everything shifts. Everything shifts into goodness. And to me, the desire is to work in the world, giving talents and gifts the perfect right job. There's a place to use those gifts and talents where each is well rewarded, appreciated, enjoys the work they do. It's amazing how when we give our gifts, God provides for us. As we love what we do, it is natural. I speak a word for balance, a sense of balance and freedom for each of us, that we know all things are possible in our lives. Let it scarcely be known, and to live from that divine truth of self, and to radiate love and joy through us. And so we go forth today and shine brightly, love the healing, and bring the wisdom of the divine. We feel guided. We know what steps to take and what words to say in conversation. We are receiving. Take a moment to be grateful for the words spoken here, because I know they're simply a revelation of what is already true. We are light. We are alive. And so I release this word into the power of the creative universe itself, allowing it to on. I can just let go. Let go. You can join me as we affirm together that this is so by saying, and so it is. Amen. Praise God. All righty. And now some amazing music. What a wonderful world.
I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom. Oh, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue, clouds of white, bright blessed day. I say goodnight, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people passing by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry. I watch them grow. They'll learn much more. I live alone. I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I think to myself, what a wonderful world.
That was wonderful. So this is our time of singing. When you're blessing all of you, God is things that light the world and touch lives. I'm going to invite our ushers to come forward. So I want to say a big thank you for supporting our community. Because we are a light in the dark. We are the two lights in the darkness. So I'm going to hello online. Good to see you. Okay, but that's something I'd like to give you online. Just go on our website. Don't play. You know, I send something to the office. I call the office. Somebody calls the same office. Communication. Whatever you like. We need your on a regular basis. just like to do with us. Join me as we take a moment. You know, this offering is the great circulation of my hearts as we give this return. I know that the gifts here are blessings that go out into our community, touching lives, as they bring care, compassion, and a way people to possibly beyond what they can do. As a moment of blessings, gifts, knowing this is it is beautiful. Will you join me in our affirmation? Ready? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am prosperous now.
God is my source, God is my power, God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, God gives me everything I need. Joy is my source, joy is my power, joy gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings, joy gives me everything that I need.
And we have some announcements today. The first thing I want to say is there's some great snacks in the community room. Please stay and have a bite to eat with us. Also, I'm going to ask Nancy to come up and tell us about the meeting that's happening. Here's Nancy. Love you.
I'm more of a background person. We're going to have a meeting right after services for a new committee called the Sunshine Committee. And we're going to talk about what we're all about. Ideas. Everybody is welcome. And, Charlene once said something in class that I first said, when you look up at a tree, you can't help but smile. Well, I don't really hurry that when you get a nice phone call or mail or something. You can't help but smile. And that's what we want to do. So please join me. It'll either be in the area here or it may be in the back of some of these places. We'd love to have you.
I think we should go in the back. It's going to be talk about it. So we'll find each other. I'm going to be here. So the Sunshine Committee is a community support group outreach. They do birthday parties for one another. We're still going to be able to support on Tuesday evenings at 6:30 It's been a good week to start this week. This is a time for connection. So the Zoom link is in our weekly meeting. Challenge our private to try to get the church's good time. I told some people it was supposed to be too much. So, connection. It's an opportunity for me as a minister to get close. Feel close. Now, Sunday, next week is something very exciting. In this week, after service, we're having a new member orientation. And it's really for us totally just like before what we do is like now it's a lot of fun using ourselves in every time we have. Talking briefly about the science of mind, our favorite philosophy, and about our community. So we're looking forward to that. And church on the following Sunday, the 21st, our diversity and inclusion committee is having a potluck, which they're having a potluck lunch on listening as an act of love. I guess they did that last night, but it's a profound experience. I'm going to read this. It's a unique opportunity for us to know each other more deeply. Inspired by the human author and human story. Our goal with this event is to get to know one another from different cultures through sharing personal stories about the past. We gather for a potluck and see people's and small groups and individuals with a level of community more about the so exciting. We are going to be creating a selected committee according to our bylaws. The board of trustees have committees selected committees. The board member committee, community members. A lot of work to do in this committee to create a profile so that we talk about us, about you, and what is it like to live in Jamaica, as well as what we have available here in and also to create a video. So we get some expertise to do this thing. We also, this is a big job. Then the committee looks at all the people that are committed to it. It's permanent residents, watchers, and decide how we interested. This committee makes a decision about who we can invite to the community and creating people. Speaker on Sunday, we do a workshop the week before, practitioners a week. The selection committee is a very busy week, and this committee hosts that whole thing and organizes it. So I hope you're up for an exciting time. If you'd like to join in the selection committee, please see what we're going to be talking this week about the Thank you for being here today. I want to say the Gifts of the Spirit is scheduled to meet this Sunday. You can contact family at the Spirit website. It's fabulous. It's once a month. Our book study group meets at 10 a.m. on Wednesdays. They are reading the book Gift of Years, Growing Older Gracefully by Grandma Strip. If you'd like to join them, and we heard from Wednesday. And I'm going to ask for a time to talk about Wednesdays. We heard something exciting.
This is exciting, guys, because we want to open it up to you, the young guys. I mean, we're retired, we can go to breakfast, and what I want to do next Tuesday at 6 o'clock, we're going to have a meeting. Every of the guys that live in the state will be coming to talk. Now, it's listed on the website. Yes. Exactly how to get it. And it'll be at 6 o'clock. Because I'll be doing this on my computer. We'll be able to answer any of your questions and tell you what to do. But it's called Daily Rock. Because of that. So we would like to reach out. So if you can, please come. Thank you.
I want to come. Thank you, Michael. Big women come? Alana has a raise. Oh, thank you. Alana, come on up. Because, yeah, Michael has a shout. It sounds like something they have not seen.
Yes, is there a response? Share their creativity and sharing
our, service is a joke. So we're one's a sunshine, like maybe which means also we're still looking for consistency. I've heard, like which year we've not even had so-and-so service based in more instead of so-and-so like we also, it's in my mind. We last week had a child because on our website it has a dynamic web page. And I asked David to notice that we were on hiatus. We're hoping to start in the fall. It's really slow on the top. So I'm telling you, I'm big and blue. So because we have to bring children because they saw like the website. We added that to the website for the still our children. If you want to, oh, yes. Hospitality could be small. They provide themselves and they need to so just thank you to all of you. And now, I want you to know, come on up, I want you all to come up on stage. We have amazing practitioners, like I said, and everyone else. They are here for us. That's what we have. 3 of them sitting out there in the chairs. People are lined up for prayer. Their prayers are powerful. There are 3 ways you have a shift in your life. If there's anything you want to have, by number 1, put your prayer request in the prayer box. It's on that message. Number 2, right after service. For free, you can have a 1-minute miracle with them. I'll sit with them, tell them what you want. They'll say powerful prayer. And if you get third phase, they get a point to see them. That I call business. So come see them, and they provide spiritual support. No, I really
I think she was very good. Let's go with that. There was a time in my life, but I had to do it all for myself. I didn't know the grace of God was sufficient. Didn't know the love of God was able. And I can say, if you are discouraged, struggling just to make it through another day, you have to let it go. And this is what you have to say. Come on. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I only hear for God. No more struggle, no more strife. With my faith I see the light. I am free in the Spirit. Yes, I only hear for God. I release and I let go. Let the Spirit run my life. And my heart is open wide. Yes, I'm only here for God.
It is this thing called vision. Vision is in my mind. Vision is in my heart. I live my vision now. And so it is. Have a great day.